Monarch Airlines has been placed into administration. All flights to and from the UK have been cancelled with immediate effect.
Well, the government will today begin the biggest ever peacetime repatriation effort to bring 110,000 stranded passengers home. Jonathan Swain is at Luton Airport this morning. Jonathan, shocking news for employees of Monarch and for passengers, people with flights booked and those, of course, already abroad on holiday.
Well, Piers, nobody quite expected the result to be quite as clear-cut as this. Here I am outside the head office of Monarch. Just over there is a hangar. It's full of Monarch aircraft, but as of now, those aircraft are pretty much worthless and useless because they cannot be used. And as you say, even though there's 110,000 Monarch passengers who are out in Europe expecting to be flown back, as we speak, the government and the CAA, the Civil Airline Authority, well, they are now working in an unprecedented situation to try and lease up to 30 aircraft to try and fly these stranded passengers back home to the UK within the next 2 weeks or so. The CAA this morning, in the last few minutes, in fact, have just given us an update, and they tell us that these plans are now already in place.
We've acquired over 30 aircraft from around the world, and we'll be picking people up from about 35 airports abroad. It's a very well-planned operation. I'm delighted to say that the first 2 planes, rescue planes from Ibiza, are already in the air with no hitch, so that's the first lot of people home.
That's an unprecedented situation. Good to hear that those planes are in the air, but it's not going to be an easy task over the next few weeks. The passengers seem to be taken care of in terms of plans are in place. Spare a thought, though, of course, for the workers here. There's 3,000 of them that work for the airline. As we arrived here this morning, the administrators, Piers and Susanna, are already here. They have effectively gone into the building. It's now in the controls of the administrators. They'll be telling staff when they arrive here shortly that actually they no longer have a job. Well, Simon Calder, we know, is a travel expert. This is his assessment of what's happened over the last few hours.
The biggest ever collapse of a UK airline has wrecked the travel plans of hundreds of thousands of passengers. Right now, all they can do is see if they can find alternative flights. And if they can, well, prices are going up, I'm afraid, by the minute.
We have to feel for Monarch Airlines because a lot of this isn't actually their fault. They're actually reacting to the awful situation of terrorism that's decimated the markets in Turkey, Egypt, and places like Tunisia as well. A lot of their flights operating in Europe recently were actually operated at a loss as well. So the CAA have taken this decision, a brave decision, but they say it's in the interests of passenger safety because the company effectively is bankrupt, doesn't have any money behind it, so therefore can't guarantee the safety of those flights that do take off. So they've taken this action. It is probably harsh action for those that work here, but nevertheless very disruptive as well for those passengers who are abroad at the moment.